And this is This Week in Car Audio. Tune in.
Well, that's awesome. There's all kinds of shit going on here.
Updates?
No, just all kinds of bullshit that says Facebook. So I'm gonna have to share to Facebook or YouTube. So I can find YouTube on my new phone. All right, we got 5 seconds.
Tune in to This Week in Car Audio.
All right, come on. Welcome to This Week in Car Audio with your host, the Judge, Doug Stockton. Hey, we're going to be a little slow starting here. Oh, I got one viewer. So we're working on trying to get this to, oops, wrong button, to show up on YouTube or Facebook, but Facebook doesn't like us anymore, I guess.
Uh-oh, what'd you say?
I know. I didn't even get banned yet.
Mark gets pretty upset these days, pretty easily.
Yep. All right, let's see here. See if it'll let me share this. I wish it would. Share to Facebook. Cancel. I still got one viewer, so we'll hold on a second. Let me get this going. If it'll ever click on there now. All right, let me try and fix it this way. This is... this thing sucks.
Got no experience with the Zoom call.
This is Zuckerberg. This is a Zuckerberg thing. It has nothing to do with Zoom. And now I'm on YouTube, and it says we're not live. Do you see us live, Jeffrey?
Yes.
Okay, so let me hit refresh.
Let me do a test.
It says it's waiting for me to go live on YouTube. Billy Temple. But it shows you, huh?
Yeah, I can see us. I just added a comment.
Okay, I don't see anything. YouTube is sucking. Facebook is sucking.
Oh, no.
I can't even click on the video.
Just make sure. Yeah, that's... Do I have it muted? Don't have it muted.
Oh. No, it won't let me click on the live video. Oh, there's 3 of them. Upcoming. Okay, there is one that says it's working, but I can't get into it. Hold on a second. Let me try something else.
Yeah, I see YouTube is good.
Okay. Well, maybe my YouTube hates me. Oh, there we go. Now I can see that. So let me go to here. There. I can see YouTube. I'm centered pretty good. Okay. How do I share? Pop out chat. Normally it isn't like this. I promise you.
I get it, man. I totally understand.
All right. So now let's go here. Where is my Facebook, my YouTube? There she is. Now, how am I going to find to share it? Copy video URL. Let's try that. Now, let's go to Facebook. And let's see if I can't share it in here. Sonic FX. And then, let me try here. Write something. Create a post. Paste. Control V. Post. All right, now let's see if it's going to let me share that across Facebook. There we go. Now, Let's see if he'll share. Oh, there we go. We got some viewers going on now. All right. So now that we got some viewers and whatnot, and I think I got this thing starting to figure out. Just so you guys know, Facebook hates YouTube, and therefore they don't want to collaborate with YouTube. So we're not sharing to Facebook and YouTube as a multi-stream platform anymore, I guess. At least according to this current situation. So I'm going to share to group. Let's see here. Oh, it's only going to let me do one at a time. Oh, there we go. Now I think I can share it. Share to Facebook. Groups. Oh, yeah, it's only going to let me do one at a time. Good gracious. All right. I'm only going to share to a couple groups. If you guys are over there, please come on over to YouTube and watch it on YouTube, because apparently Facebook sucks donkey dongs, is what we like to say.
Tell us how you really feel.
Right?
Yeah, dude. When Facebook does stupid shit like this, it pisses me off.
Yeah, it's tough.
Looks like I'm able to share to a couple of groups.
All right.
Well, let's see if I can get to it. But, we're probably not going to have the same groups. Well, I mean, possibly.
Yeah. I'm sharing to the DB Drag group. That's the one I shared it to. And then I shared it to Sonic FX. So, anyway, hey, if you guys are watching this on YouTube or whatever, on Facebook, go to YouTube, because this all sucks. Just so you know. There you go, Woody. Oh, we got Woody sharing the YouTube link. Sacktown Stang. That's Leo Valdez.
Oh, okay.
Woody McDonald popping in there. All right. Hey, at least on YouTube I can show their comments, so that's always a good thing.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. I mean, that Facebook's first issue was doing that. So if you guys watch on YouTube, come on over here, or on Facebook, come on over here to YouTube. Since Facebook doesn't like us, it's been deleting my old videos too, after like 60 days or something now.
Oh,
So,
that's right.
Yeah. Good thing I multi-stream, and if they don't want to fix that again, we'll stop posting on Facebook, I guess. Oh, who's doing
I
this
did
here?
a couple of live streams on TikTok, and when you end the TikTok, it's just gone.
Oh,
Don't do
really?
that. Yeah, it's gone.
Oh, you know what? My live streams, we are on TikTok and something else, Twitch, and they're gone as soon as we're done with those too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That speaks about the attention span of people, right? They don't want to go back and watch it. They just want to watch it in the now.
Yeah.
Gone today, gone tomorrow.
Yeah.
She gone. All right, Jeffrey, you have a show coming up there, or did you have a show last weekend or anything?
Negative. It was Memorial Day weekend.
It was, but I saw pictures.
I generally pictures.
Yeah, did you post some pictures, or were those old pictures?
Oh yeah, it was my regular beginning of the month pictures from the previous month that I've been doing nowadays.
All right.
Yeah, because it feels weird sometimes when I'm like trying to get a post going. I take a picture and I'm like, should I save it? Should I share it? What am I going to say? And it's like, I'll just save it to the end of the month, and then it's like, this is the previous month.
There you go. Yeah.
So generally I don't have shows during big holidays. Okay. I know there was a couple of them though, but I always find it affects attendance, but that's not always the case, I guess.
No. I know they did the rolling on the river or whatever up here in NorCal.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
They did that this weekend. So I don't know how the turnout was there. I texted Jose, and he said it wasn't that great. But again, it was, 101 up here, or 102. So that always tends to affect the turnout, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all get really hot.
Yeah.
I had a potential show promoter sponsor say he doesn't want to do any shows when it's hot. So I'm like,
Hey, how do
okay,
we fix
September
that?
then?
No.
Right.
You tell them how we fix that, Jeff. We do night shows.
Evening shows.
That's
I don't
right.
think
Yeah.
I don't think the facility or the venue is I guess lit up. So I don't think
Okay.
there's lights, but I was like, oh, all right, well, let's shoot for September then.
Yeah, that's rough.
All right.
Mhm.
Yeah, hey, if anybody's in there in the chat or watching this, can you guys start sharing on Facebook with us since Facebook don't like us anymore? And then it'll be like 2 weeks and all of a sudden Facebook will start working again. So I don't know what's going on. It's stupid. Anyway, so speaking of a multi-org show and whatnot, oh, now Twitch isn't letting us stream on there. They need additional permissions to send
Uh-oh.
messages. Click here to grant the permission. Let's see. I mean, we only have one person that ever watches on Twitch anyway. So I ain't logging in to Twitch.
Bummer for that guy.
It's Eric Hansen.
it?
Yeah.
He just messaged me and asked where the podcast, where he can find it. I told him check YouTube.
Yep. So anyway, so speaking of multi-orgs and all that stuff, we had one this weekend. I believe Base Wars was even part of it. Why don't you tell everybody here who you are and what you guys do?
Well, my name is Bill. I started Base Wars, I guess, almost 10 years ago. And we are just a little bit more of a relaxed org. We're kind of a go with the flow kind of org. We're simple.
How do your formats line up, or what
So
format?
I think DB Drag goes by power. Is that accurate?
So it goes by install, number one.
Uh-huh.
And then number two, there's power classes at the lower levels, the
Yeah.
basic installs when you have a stock cabin. And then after that, it goes by woofers.
Okay, so we go by woofers for most parts. We go by woofers, and then but we say if you have 215s, you fit in this class. Let's say,
Okay.
but if you have gobs of extra power, we might bump you up one. It's not we might. There's a list, but you would get bumped up. One class, but the key is power can only bump you up one class. So if you're 1 watt over, then you can be 1,000,000 watts over.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So ours, you're 1 watt over. You get a 1 for your run
Oh wow.
because
A
Term
1.
Lab doesn't register zeros.
Oh wow. Yeah. Okay. Well, now, so we're not coded into TermLab the way you guys are. We just use that little yellow slot, and we can put a few things there, like a frequency cap or a power cap, but we don't really use those. To be honest with you.
Okay.
We're kind of limited, so we just work with what we can,
Yep. So you guys aren't one of the organizations that goes all through Wayne and has them build the Term Lab to match your organization?
No. He said he just didn't want to do that anymore.
Okay.
But we all do use the Term Lab.
Right.
Yeah, it's a good meter. We like it.
So how many judges do you have?
35?
In how many states?
Oh, states I'd have to really count. But I think there's about 35 of us. We have a lot of them up and down the East Coast. We're heavy on the East Coast.
And then you obviously have California.
Yep, got a couple on the West Coast, several through the middle. We got we're spread out. We got Africa, South Africa.
Yeah, I was going to say, did I hear Africa? I thought I saw that somewhere.
Yeah, those guys are doing a really good job. Yeah, man, they have some really nice shows over there.
Okay. You have Richard Papasan in Southern California. Who else do you have in California?
Not in California. I don't have any more.
Oh, okay.
But I do have someone, James, up in Oregon. Yeah.
Okay.
And so that's all the West Coast we have. And Richard covers a lot of area, and James does too. I try to tell our judges, man, 3 hours, but Richard blows that out of the water.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, 3 hours. If you go more than 3 hours, then if you have to get a hotel room, you just run the risk of losing money, you know?
Yep.
So if you can get to the location, do your show and come back home same day, then, you might you might make a little bit. But
Yeah.
if you have to travel and get hotels and stuff, it's a no win.
Okay. How does somebody become a judge for your organization?
Really, they just call me and we chit chat, and you either get the warm and fuzzy or you don't.
Um,
Kind of how that goes.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty hands on, so
Mhm.
I've got I do everything. The graphics are me, the data is me,
okay.
the awards is me.
Oh, that's right.
I provide our awards to our judges, so they don't have to buy them, but they just use what I have. So I mean, I'm mailing it to them. I really do got my hands on all aspects of it,
That's
which
what.
is
That's
kind of
what.
keeps me busy.
Yeah, that's what U.S.A.C.A used to do.
Yeah.
But you did have to buy them from, Ralph Ralph Randall.
Ralph,
So,
yeah.
yeah. So you'd have to buy the trophies from him. But
I think Mecca does it that way still. I'm
Oh,
not
yeah.
positive about that, but I think they do.
okay. No, with DB Drag, anybody can do a 1X event. So, but if you want a multi-point certified event, you got to hire one of the, what is there, like six six judges in the United
I
States?
think so, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
That's cool.
yeah. So it is a interesting dynamic, we'll say, if you live Dallas didn't have anybody in the Midwest for ever until Jeffrey moved there. And
Yeah.
then Jeffrey moved away, and now I'm going to move there. So,
That's crazy. Yeah.
But
Um,
we're looking to change all of that now. We have Cody Harris,
yep.
the son of Wayne and Solis, is really stepping it up this year and creating all these what I call Cody initiatives. So first of which is finding more judges. So we hope to
that's big.
get that number up from 6.
Yeah.
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 But the good thing also, when you do have such a small pool of judges, the integrity of the judges is
Yeah.
easier monitored and checked, right?
Yeah. We struggle with that a little bit.
Okay.
Sure do.
But
Yeah.
so how are your classes? Are they music? Are they burps? Combination?
Yeah, we got both. We got about 15 or so music classes, you might say.
Uh huh.
We've got we got about 12 or 15 burp classes. We got a pro section for the extreme guys, and
Okay.
we also have what we call our demo wars, which is basically a walk around sound quality from the outside. And we got some other little fun things. I got one that I created called Old School. Now, you may still do it this way. I don't know, but back in the day, you had to play one of 3 songs. There was Flashdance. What was the other one? Chicago's Hard Habit to Break, I think,
Right.
or Michael Jackson, Dirty Diana. You had to play one of those 3. And so we have a class called Old School, and you have to play one of those 3 songs, not bass boosted, sealed on the dash, where we used to have to do it.
Okay.
It's kind of a nod to the way, back when I got started back in the 90s,
Right. Spencer Stanlin pops in here, says no more Facebook, question mark. Well, Facebook doesn't want us for some reason. They aren't allowing the streaming. So until they get that fixed, then we're going to be on YouTube only. So if you're on YouTube and you aren't normally on there, hit that like, share, and subscribe button, please. It really helps us a lot. I'm trying to get the YouTube side. Just so everybody knows, we way exceed. So you only need 5,000 hours total for the lifetime of the channel to become monetized. We get over 4,500 hours a month off of ours.
Yeah,
so,
that's awesome.
So we meet that, but we only have a roughly 500 subscribers. So until we get to 1,000, it doesn't matter how many hours we have listened. The people that listen to us on average listen to us for just over an hour. So And then we have very, very similar metrics on the podcast side, on the audio podcast only. So, but anyway, enough about that. But yeah, please like, share, and subscribe if you're on the YouTube today, because Facebook sucks. And if you're here on YouTube, please share it to Facebook with every group you can, so that they can see that Facebook sucks, and they're the ones that caused us not to be on there tonight. So,
Yeah.
And they do this like once a year, once every other year. This happened to us like 3 times so far in the over 5 years we've been doing this. So it is what it is. Anyway, so you have music classes, you have bass, other ones. When and where do you do your World Finals?
So we do ours a little differently, just because we're not big enough to have one finals, So we do satellite, you might say.
Okay.
We use StreamYard and some other software, and I take in 8 streams, and then I just basically produce a television show through StreamYard and put it on Facebook and YouTube. So you might have them running in Africa, and I can cut if there's something cool going there, and if not, I'll cut to, say, California or wherever, and we just kind of make it like a television show.
Okay. That's kind of what Wayne had last year, right? Isn't that what he was the command center?
I think
or whatever?
he did. Yeah.
He was at the command center. Yeah.
Yes. So Wayne was trying to. So that is actually something Wayne and I have been discussing. I don't know, 8-10 years, something like that. But technology's got to catch up to our thought process, right?
Right.
And then now that technology's caught up, now it's a matter of us implementing the technology correctly. So there's so many nuances behind the scenes and all that stuff. So
people don't realize just how awesome that Term Lab is.
Yeah,
it's got and we don't even get half the features, but the stuff that's there that he's made. I mean, nothing else nothing compares.
Yeah. So with so then. When are your World Finals? So you have them all over the country or all over the world?
Usually it's the same day as you guys. We've been on the same day, I think, for the last few years. But we always go the first weekend in October.
Okay, and do you share venues with DB Drag then?
No, we don't usually spend money on our venues. We just go somewhere local. We have so many different places that none of them are big,
Oh, okay.
So we don't usually have to. We just find somebody that's just a regular host that's got some internet for us, good bandwidth, and that's where we do it now. You guys get hot out there, and so the only problem we've had out where you guys are is Richard was overheating for a minute.
Himself or his equipment?
His equipment, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, when it's over 100.
When
it's over 100, it really messes with the computer and stuff. Have you had that issue, Jeffrey, where your Term Lab overheats and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
definitely.
So I actually have a set of fans that I always run on my laptop during the summer.
Yeah.
And I have the elevated cool it, pad that goes under it and everything. Because obviously, like I said, I've done shows in probably the hottest I've done is 115, but I've done 113 quite a few times out in Fresno.
Wow.
I think my monitors go out first.
Right.
Yeah.
Like my monitors go out first before the laptop. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no. So my typically what goes on me is the laptop slows down. And that becomes an issue with everything, the streaming and all that. So that's why I keep the cooling on it. I've only had the monitors go out on me one time. So that's not too bad. So do you guys have any head-to-head or, side-by-side classes or anything like that?
Yeah. So our Demo Wars, the sound quality thing, that's a head-to-head thing.
Okay.
Right? You pull up, you listen to one, you listen to the other. With the meter, we have a couple, only one class, I think, that's really like that. And it's kind of like a call-out class for us. It's called a death match. Okay. And it's 3 minutes long,
And what do you play on that? And what
they play
rules?
whatever they like.
Okay.
and as long as there's not a lot of profanity and stuff in it. But yeah, and may the loudest guy win.
All right. Spencer says we had it freeze in Canada. We had to get a heater.
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't like the cold.
I don't mind the cold. I'm of Scottish descent, so I don't mind the cold at all.
Yeah.
The heat kicks
I'll
my
take
butt
the heat
sometimes.
any day.
Oh, not
over
me.
the cold.
Oh, wow.
But now you guys get really hot now. Y'all, we have a different hot here.
Yeah.
If we're 100 here, and we're very, very humid, so it's like if you walk outside, you're just gonna turn right back in, take another shower. That's just the way it is. But out there, it's like I don't know if I can breathe. It's hot, but you don't sweat. It's just weird.
Yeah. Well, if that's what you're used to, that's just how it is.
Yeah.
So your world final. So does that mean that somebody doesn't have an opportunity? Let's see here. Oh, hey, I got paid more money. Yay.
Mm-hmm.
My neighbor's buying my boat next door, but he has limits on how much you can send a day on Zelle. So he keeps sending until he can't send money anymore. Anyway, so people have to choose between Base Wars and DB Drag if they want to go to World Finals for you guys, then, right?
Yeah, but I think we have only a handful of crossover competitors.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the only ones I really know of are Moses Martinez and Rosita.
Yeah. Dave Bradshaw right here. He's a crossover too.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not super familiar with everybody over there, but I know Moses. I always see him at Slamology.
Yeah, but Moses, all he cares about is just being there and having fun.
He does have fun. That's why he's one of my favorite people. He's animated. Yep. I love to watch him meet her. He's excited about it. I make videos for us, for advertisements and stuff, and I usually have a good video of him celebrating. Now he's celebrating halfway through his run, but it's still fun,
Yep.
Fun guy.
No,
so,
absolutely.
I like him.
Yeah. So I would make a suggestion. I don't know how it would work, but at least there's Joel. Joel popping in. Have you had Joel? Do you know who Joel is? Joel Yabamit?
Yeah. He is another crossover. Yeah.
Yeah. Most of the guys in California crossover. I will just say that.
All right.
So it might be in Base War's best interest to maybe talk with Celise and see about joining the venue.
Yeah. So they usually spend a lot of money on venues. We just don't have that. We don't. Okay. We don't get fees. I think the way you guys do. We don't have money like that. No other way to say it, right?
Yeah.
But so like my judges, they don't pay me a fee of any kind. We just split the runs, if you will, and then I provide the awards on top of that. So my part is really kind of minimal. So the organization overall isn't really wealthy. Like most people would think, oh, you own the org, like no, I still work. No, it's not like that for Base Wars. But and when I started Base Wars, for one, it wasn't ever really a plan to be a Base Wars. Had I known I could have been a judge for another org, would have did that, hands down. I just didn't know. But so I didn't think out the business end, because it never was planned to be a business end. It was just me and a meter, and
right.
And it grew, and so we've just been adapting at every turn.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's awesome. I can appreciate.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's grassroots things that are always end up being really good, right? The potential's there for all kinds of cool stuff, and everybody has access to the head guy or whatever, I want to say.
Yeah. People can usually reach me, that's for sure.
Yeah, we got, what does that say? Safa Audio, Next Level Car Audio, watching from New Zealand.
Wow.
Yeah, we get New Zealand, China, Barbados, Italy. Yeah, we get quite a few people watching from all over the world to the podcast. So hopefully
That's really
now we
cool.
get a little South America maybe. I had South America people watching it for a couple of weeks, and then they just stopped. So
Yeah.
but
Well,
you know, DV drag's not a thing in South America, right? In
yeah,
general.
yeah. And also, I don't know how it is for you guys, but like working with the South Africa guys, there's a big time difference. So,
Oh yeah.
like, you have to do your live stream at noon to get to their prime time.
Well, for us, the people in New Zealand, it is currently like noon or 1 o'clock in the
Yeah,
afternoon
okay.
tomorrow in New Zealand.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
So that's how they just listen to it while they're working, right?
Yeah.
Where people on the East Coast, shoot, if I was on the East Coast, I'd be in bed right now.
Sleep. Right. Yeah.
Because you know I get up for work at 3 a.m. So you know I gotta get up early.
Yeah, I'm an early bird also.
Yeah. So I will say it was a great get with Richard as a judge.
Yeah.
Are you free
yeah.
to explain how that happened, or?
How he came to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he would mind at all. But yeah, I think he's a very big asset, and I'm proud to have him. We talk a lot, we brainstorm a lot, but he came. He was with Mecca, and then
Yep.
that ended. And he called me. He says, "Look, I was considering, your org, coming to your org. So we talked, and he says, but he was straight up with me. He says, I'm looking at some other orgs too,
Yeah.
right? And so we talked to what our deal is and all that stuff. And he called me a few days later and says, "Man, I choose you guys." Okay, awesome. And so we partnered up, and that's kind of how that came about.
Yeah. Oh, so don't take this the wrong way, but I always try to be in the room and be the stupidest guy in the room. That's
Yeah.
always my goal. Okay.
Right.
And with Richard, that's super easy to do.
Pretty easy to do. Yes. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I've been trying to get Richard on here actually since the day he started with you guys.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I'll be honest. I tried to get him on ours also, and I've yet to get him there.
Maybe he's just that kind of guy. He's
Yeah,
kinda
he
shy.
just doesn't really do the podcast thing.
Yeah.
I thought I had him roped in at one time, but it didn't work out. And so he's not even been on a Base Wars podcast.
Okay, so we don't feel so bad now.
No. And during our finals, I've never seen him on there either. Now, we aim the cameras. What we do is we aim the camera down at the car, and we superimpose the run screen like in a corner.
Yep.
So you're looking at both when they run, but you're not seeing the judge.
Okay. Have you ever seen any of mine or Jeffrey's live streams?
I have seen this, but I don't
Okay.
think I have seen any shows that would be a live stream.
Yeah, so all of the events I do, Jeffrey's done quite a few where he live streams his events, and we do that exact same thing. So we put
Yeah.
the cars face up, and then right in the middle of the cars we put the timer and their scores.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool thing to do, but it just never really took off. I don't know about you guys, but for me, it's like there's so much time. Like you can have 10 cars straight, and then it'll be an hour before you get another rush of 10. And it's just, so people are just sitting there, and then the viewership would go to zero or bad. And I'm like, nah, this is a bad look. We don't want to do this.
Yeah,
So I'd stop doing it. Yeah.
So the reason it works for DB Drag is because we only turn it on for brackets. We don't typically turn it on for qualifying.
Yeah.
And so the brackets is boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, once I get into base race, Jeffrey will tell you, I do a car every less than 2.5 minutes. I have a run going.
Yeah,
So-
that's cool. Yeah, you can definitely do it like that.
Yeah.
The other way, though, is not.
Yeah, I think because it's structured, there's a bracket, who's going to come
Yeah.
up next,
Mhm.
I guess
Right.
if you have it the other way where it's just qualifying or people just come
Right.
up whenever they want. Yeah, there is going to be some
Yeah, and with brackets, you
there.
at least have some anticipation. When matches
Oh
coming
yeah.
up, probably
Right.
even.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
in between matches, while we're resetting up the next cars, I have the person running my computer, the station I call it. They
Hmm.
click it, so the whole screen becomes the bracket. So it scrolls through the brackets, so you
Yeah,
can see qualifying scores, who's
yeah. We
coming
don't
up, in
have.
what class, you know.
Yeah, we don't have ability to use brackets on that little yellow thing that we have. We
Yep.
we can't use
But
brackets, so I don't know much about it. To be
but
honest with you.
you can. Do you show results on a secondary screen?
I do.
So you would be able to, on your thing, show the results as a secondary window.
So this is one. I wouldn't call it a problem. I call it a pretty big inconvenience for the way I do things.
Okay.
If you are typing,
Mm-hmm.
inputting scores or whatever, because the way it works is when they send me their scores, we use a Facebook Messenger or something, whatever we decide.
Okay.
But if you're inputting scores, it stops the run screen. It don't roll.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. That
So
is, yeah,
I got to do something different this time.
and that is very true. It does that, and the reason behind that is because typically when you're typing, it pulls up so much RAM and whatnot because it may be using a different resource. And Wayne was, I mean, we're talking way back, you know.
Yeah.
Wayne was having resource issues with the term lab, and it would read funny.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
he said I either got to stop all of the resources or I got to stop the term lab. He has control over the term lab. He doesn't have control over other resources.
Right.
So
Yeah, usually there's a good reason for all of the little quirks that we might call quirks, but
yeah.
you know the person that's making it ain't gonna want to make it bad.
No.
So you work with what you got, you know.
Yeah. One of the
Yeah.
things Wayne and I were talking about is actually making streaming a function on the term lab. So,
Yeah.
So he's
That's what he does, right? It's already functional for him. So you just got to decide if he wants to open it, I guess.
yeah, and I wouldn't. If I was him, I wouldn't open it, right?
I wouldn't
because your organization has to have what makes it premier, right?
Yeah.
And live internet head to head is awesome.
I am surprised he ever even sold the meters. I don't know. I don't know his business, so I don't know if Term Lab makes enough money to warrant that versus DB Drag. But if he hadn't made that meter, I don't know if somebody else would have made one. But he just put all his competition in business doing that. You know.
Well, it's so good compared to the old stick mics. I mean,
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
people that have not been
Yeah.
on the stick mics just don't understand. I mean, Jeffrey can tell
Yeah.
you would have one person from your team just watch the stick mics so you know which one to get on.
Yeah. That's right.
It's so inconsistent.
Right. And not only you had the little knobs you could play with pretty easily, right?
Yeah.
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 So,
Joel's in here. He says, "Hi, hello, Bill.
hello, Joel.
I'm the competitor talked with you during your last visit to Fresno about bringing Base Wars to the Philippines. He's looking
Yeah, I
forward
remember.
to it.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
I remember that. Yeah.
To the Philippines.
Yep. I think he is either there now or he was there last weekend doing a show.
He goes back and
Right.
forth a lot.
He's the most traveled competitor. He's been to the
Yeah, you know that.
Philippines. He's been to Mexico. He goes to Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He don't care. He said, "Where's
Right.
the show? I'm going."
Yeah.
So
Well, we're not anywhere else right now other than South Africa. We were down in Trinidad,
oh,
but
okay.
that didn't really work out.
With Darren or a different guy?
A friend of his,
Oh, okay.
Okay.
him and a friend of his, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Darren pops on here now and then. We see him pop up in the chat.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's in Trinidad. We have some people in Barbados. We have Tiffany and Tristan, but now Tiffany is in China teaching English.
Mm.
So I don't know that they're going to be doing shows anytime soon. But
Now, you would think if car audio was interesting to the China people, they have the market on the speakers and the amps. I mean, they could get so much cheap stuff, as Chinamen,
Yep.
they would have like gazillion watts, and it cost them $10. Not really, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you're right where it's manufactured, that's very helpful. I mean, Jeffrey can
Yeah.
tell you that working at Crossfire, right?
Right?
Oh yeah.
That's
But you do have a point, though. I wonder why there isn't that big of a market down there.
Right. I've wondered.
Yeah. Well, we don't know what their economy looks like either, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Well-
we can only say what our economy looks like, right? So we
Right.
just suspect people are free to go in and buy something, and they have a paycheck. We don't even know if they have that kind of relationship with the government and their
Right.
employer.
And we know their paycheck is probably not that big.
Right. And that they use slave labor for a lot of their manufacturing.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Well, no, they use truly slave labor. So
Yeah. So non-existent pay and little
Right.
pay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I mean that is a potential issue, right? So,
Yeah.
but what you gonna do? Anyway,
Right.
so what do you think what's the greatest goal for Base Wars when you'll say, hey, we're there now. This is us. What's that look like for you?
I've thought about that,
Mm-hmm.
and originally there wasn't really a goal, and then I brought on one guy or two, and I was like, okay, if I get to 5 guys, man, that's gonna be good enough, And so, all right, and then it was 10, and then it was 20. Then it was 25, and now I don't even know how many. It's between 30 and 40, but I think I'm there. If it didn't grow anymore, I'm okay. I don't even really. It's not that I don't care, but I just want the people to have fun with it. That to me is what matters, and we're getting big enough now to where that consistency is rearing an ugly head, and so it's growing pains, I guess.
Yes.
But as far as if I had a goal for Base Wars, I don't think I have one, man. We're just cruising,
Oh, so what was the birth or the genesis of Base Wars then?
So I built the pickup. I built a base vehicle, and no competition around here. Now DB Drag has never been here, but we did used to have
where's
USAC.
here again?
Mississippi, South Mississippi.
That's right.
Yeah. So there was USAC only held 2 or 3, competitions or anywhere around me. And so I was like, well, okay. So I got a meter, got it from Wayne, and we started doing meet and greets. Well, we decided, okay, let's make it a competition. We went and bought some little medallions, and I have one, I think, close anyway, just some little
wow.
$3, $4 medallions,
Uh-huh.
And we had our first competition, and then the next year I did 78 of them by myself.
Wow.
And I says, no more. I said, we got to have some help. And so, or else we're going to quit,
Right.
And so it just kind of went. And then, so people are like, hey man, I'll come on. Hey man, I'll come on. Hey, I'll come on. And that's kind of what happened. And then, I guess what really made it grow, Jimmy Pittman came on in Kansas. He was my first guy, right?
Okay.
And then Jordan Acosta, he was next, and he's kind of in the area where I was. So when Jordan took my area, then I could go out,
Uh-huh.
So if people would ask me down in Florida, would I come? Well, yeah, I'll come, And so then they started getting interested in there. So then we'd find a judge. And so then I'd go to Georgia, or, just go to wherever, and people would ask. And that's how we've grown, That's just how it's happened.
Cool. I mean, that sounds very similar to, Chris, Wall Street Chris, right? Chris Gregory. He didn't have any
Yeah,
shows
yeah,
in
yeah,
his
yeah.
area, and then so he's like, hey, look, I'm gonna start doing shows, and it started out as meet and greets, and then it grew into
Yeah,
what he has now, Tennessee Base Racers.
yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of, how is the competition scene in Kansas?
Man, it's pretty strong. Jimmy has a pretty good following there. Now he goes some states pretty close to him, so
Right.
not just in Kansas, but yeah, he has really good shows.
Okay. Where's he at in Kansas?
He's actually in Kansas City,
Okay,
Kansas,
Missouri.
I believe, not
Oh.
Kansas City, Missouri.
Okay.
Oh,
Which they're
okay.
it's the same city, they're just
Right,
same
right,
state.
right. Just on the state line, right?
But he's always really clear to make sure you know he's in Kansas, not Missouri. I don't know why, but yeah.
Yeah, because that's actually where I'm moving to. I have a house I built in Kansas. So,
Oh, okay, yeah.
but that's still 3.5 hours from Kansas City. So
What part of Kansas are you going to?
Wichita.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So
Whew.
yeah.
It's a tornado shelter.
So just so you know, so I think I don't know if I've told anybody on here, but I thought I did. So we put a 16-foot by 9-foot six-sided steel or six-sided 12-inch thick concrete with number 4 rebar, which is about the size of 2 thumbs together.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Yeah. But it's six-sided, and 4 of the 6 sides are covered by earth. So
Yeah.
so and then it's got a vault door on the only
Yeah, that's
entrance.
cool.
So I think we'll be okay if that ever happens.
Right.
But needless to say, where I did build my house, they don't have any recordable tornadoes through that section of Wichita.
Pretty awesome.
So,
Yeah.
I'm on the northwest.
Well, I only
corner.
really said that because of that original movie, Twister. Remember?
Oh,
Yep. Twister.
Remember?
Yep.
was
Don't
it?
crease the maps. Roll the maps.
That's right.
There's a crease in Wichita, he says.
Yeah. So, but if you're on the south east side of Wichita, that place gets pounded every year with tornadoes.
Yeah.
So, and I'm on the northwest. Now they have tons of wind and all that, but they don't have tornadoes that touch ground on that part of the town. So
Yeah.
that's part of the reason I chose that section of town too. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah. We go there. We're afraid of tornadoes, but we live here in California where there's earthquakes. I mean, on a daily, I bet I can look right now, and we had at least a 4.0 earthquake somewhere.
Wow.
And Jeffrey, can you ever remember an earthquake?
It was like probably in January. I remember I was at work and
Oh,
I had just came back from Texas and I was like, oh yeah, here we go again. The earthquakes are back. And
Yeah, we never have those. We just have tornadoes and hurricanes here.
you had hurricanes in Mississippi. Yeah.
yeah, it's scary.
So no, like I said, to be honest, the only earthquake I've ever felt was the '89. So
Which one was that?
that was the one where Giant Stadium during this World
Oh,
Series.
it was Northridge. The
Northridge quake.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt that in Reno
That was
actually.
bad.
So,
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
So
bad.
that was the only one I've actually felt, and I've been in. I mean, my wife called me. Did you feel that? Well, no. And I look it up, and it's like a 5.8, and I was like, no, didn't even feel it.
Dang. Yeah, we don't have those. That would be a weird experience.
So, but
Yeah.
no, that's cool. Do you have any places that you're looking for judges?
I would really like to have somebody in Florida because all our other guys now they're happy to do it because everybody loves Florida, right? But it'd be nice if we had a steady person down there. But right now we just got our other guys going and covering. Greg Kelly, he goes down there and covers Florida a lot.
Oh, he's out of Tennessee, right?
Right.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
they're like, oh man, I want to move there. Well, okay. you know. So yeah, I would really like to have somebody in Florida, and man, you guys know how it is. Everywhere there needs to be somebody. So we have some areas. We don't have anybody really in Missouri. Jimmy Pittman will cover some Missouris. We got some Indiana guys, but the Chicago, Illinois area, we really don't. That's getting a little far for either of those guys, and so. you know, but I don't even know if there's a scene there or not. We did just get someone in Wisconsin. We got some Michigan people, yeah.
Okay.
So we're covered pretty good. I hate that Richard has to do all the traveling that he does. I really feel strong about that 3 hours. I want my guys to make money. At least I
Right.
don't want them to cost them anything, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really hate it when they have to travel more than about 3 hours.
Okay.
We need an Alabama judge. Our Alabama judge had twins, so I'm pretty sure she's kind of out, you know.
Mommy duties.
Yeah, and she was North Alabama, and our Jordan Acosta is covering some South Alabama. So we could use some Alabama and Florida judges. In Georgia, we don't have anybody in Georgia. We're filled up in South Carolina and North Carolina. So we're, you know, but we could sit here and talk, and you know, people are going to reach out to you. Oh yeah, man, I don't have anybody. Dang, you should put that on the map, you know. As a matter of fact, I was supposed to call one of my guys today, and I wrote a note, and I still didn't call him.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I'll call him tomorrow. I'll get that done.
Who are your big sponsors for Base Wars?
So we really don't have a lot of sponsors. Kicker is they sponsor us pretty well.
Okay.
And Resilient Sounds has came on with us to sponsor a little bit, and that's it. Our business model is not built around sponsors. If we get sponsorship, it's just kind of extra, you know.
Yep. No, I understand that. That was essentially my business model too for a lot of years, because I feel like I put on a good enough product that, you know, it'll stand alone.
Yeah.
So.
Well, so that's probably just some education I need is I don't know what I have to offer a sponsor, you know. Richard gets a few sponsors for a given show, maybe, you know, a local show or whatnot. But as far as national, we really don't. Kicker really helps us out, you know.
Okay.
But if you notice, I brand them on everything.
Well, and that's what you offer them, right? That's
right.
Yeah, I thought Base Wars was a kicker thing at first. When
right. So that comes from this. So back, I have, until right now, and you'll get a kick out of this, I have not owned a speaker that wasn't kicker since I was like 12 years old.
Really?
Not owned. I'm telling you, not one. I have a lot of kicker speakers, and I always have, right? So I've just been a kicker fan, and I was at Kicker for a training, and they said to me, we really should do something with you. And I says, I got nothing to offer you. Thank you, but man, I got nothing for you. I said, I'll just do this for you because I love the company, you know. And so that's kind of how it got started. And once I did that, and they saw my push, then they offered me a little more and a little more, and so that's kind of how that kind of came about. Foot first, I guess, but it wasn't foot first with the hope of getting a sponsor. It was just because I love the company, you know.
You know, Kicker sponsors at least 2 professional bowlers.
Oh, cool! Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah. Now. I did acquire 6 Crossfire 15s just a couple of months ago. So now I can't say I've only ever had kickers. So because I got 6 15s down in the garage.
Which ones?
They are huge motors, the big ZV4, something 4-inch voice 4.
XT4s.
XT4, okay, yeah. Big. They weigh, I don't know what they weigh, but I don't like picking them up. Right?
Oh, yeah. They're probably close to 100 pounds.
Yep, they absolutely are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I have a little Ford Transit Connect that I travel the country to do Base Wars in, right? And I don't know if I could fit 6 of them in there, but I'm thinking about putting those in the back of that as a C pillar kind of thing, you know. Or maybe the B pillar and leave the back open. But, you know, that van is supposed to haul tents and stuff, but it's got a roof rack. You know, so
probably a trailer hitch, maybe.
No, it's got a little 4-cylinder, but it does get like 25, 26 miles a gallon, and that lets me ride around without feeling too guilty. But now when I come all the way out there where you guys are, I got a Ram 2500. I put everything in the back of the truck. And,
that doesn't get 25 miles to the gallon.
no, and fuel out there is expensive.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I think I paid for the cheapest gas. I think I paid $5.49 or $5.51 yesterday.
Yikes.
That's gasoline?
Yes.
Yeah, we're half
That's
of that
not
here.
gold. That's not gold.
Yeah, we're half of that here. Diesel is about $3.50.
Yeah,
gallon.
I think diesel's a similar cost. So
Yeah,
but
over here diesel's going to be $1 more than gas usually.
Oh no, diesel and gas are almost the same cost here.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's certain taxes that don't hit diesel fuel that hit
Yeah.
gas surtaxes, and now the
Well,
states,
I came out there.
Yeah.
I came out there and rode around, and I tell you what, man, I loved it out there.
You did.
People over here always bash California, right?
Yeah.
Politics wise or whatever.
Yep.
But I come out there to a show in Fresno, where that's where I got this hat, as a matter of fact. And
okay.
and so I stayed out there a few, and I rode up and down Highway 1, and I had the time of my life. And I will tell you, I didn't understand, and shame on me, but I started up this mountain in my little rent car, and it said, "Do not go up without snow chains." I'm like, it's 100 degrees. I'm going up the mountain, right? So I'm going up the mountain, and then it had been burnt. There was a fire.
Oh, okay.
But as soon as the fire stopped, or it wasn't actually
The
burnt,
fire line.
it was
Right.
burnt. Like it still smelled burnt.
Right. The fire.
It
line.
was snow.
Yep.
It was snow. So I'm like, huh. So I keep going, and I go to the top where they've got this little village, which was the coolest thing, you know. And I was wishing I had snow chains.
So was that in actually Yosemite?
No, it wasn't.
Okay. So you were south of
wasn't.
Yosemite.
Yeah, it was just a mountain of some kind. It had a popular lake at the top of it. It was advertised.
Was it a Big Bear or Lake Arrowhead?
Yeah, those are pretty
I don't
big.
know.
Yeah.
It was right out of Fresno.
Was it Fresno?
Right out of Fresno. Maybe
Okay, yeah,
it's
That's
close.
why I thought it might have been Yosemite, right? Because Yosemite is right there.
It was definitely in that direction, and I really can't remember what the name of that. They called it a village up the top there. There was like one restaurant, one gas station.
Oh wow!
And that's where you bought your toothbrushes and bread at the gas station. You know,
Is Mammoth out that way?
Mammoth is further down towards you, but it could have been Mammoth because Mammoth Lake's up there, right?
Yeah.
that doesn't ring a bell either. Okay, pull up Google Maps. And just see.
So
I can...
the thing about California, like Fresno, you could have drove 2.5 hours dead west and ended up in Monterey, right? So you could have been at the beach in a surf area, scuba diving area, or you could have been up in the snow, or you could have been in 90-degree weather in Fresno.
Well, I did all of that. I drove around for about 4 or 5 days. And once I hit Highway 1, I went from San Francisco all the way down to the bottom.
Oh, okay.
I didn't go up north so much, but...
No, so you went through Carmel and Monterey and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Santa Cruz, Santa Barbara.
San Luis Obispo.
Yep. Matter of fact, the sunglasses I wear today I bought in Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara is a beautiful place to go to.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I said that I stayed in Fresno, but
Clovis.
I'm thinking I might have been in San Jose.
Whoa, San Jose, that's north. San Francisco.
I went into San Francisco, but I stayed somewhere I thought a little bit south, and I don't see.
That would be San Jose. No, Fresno's inland. Fresno's in the center of the state.
Yeah.
Okay. So, then I was in San Jose, I think, and so I'm looking on the map trying to find.
Isn't that near Richard? Richard's in Cooper.
Yeah, Richard was pretty close to me. We ate dinner. And I was able to make it back to my room and stuff, so without a lot of drive, you know. So,
is Richard up here?
Yeah, I think he is. Cupertino.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, Papa San I thought he lived down in L.A. because NASA's up here. I just remodeled a whole bunch of stuff at NASA, and I know he works for NASA, but I thought it was NASA down in the LA area. But
Yeah, I'm not seeing that that drive. I can't pick out the mountain that I went up.
okay, Tahoe.
No. It wasn't that. I'm not seeing. I'm just not even getting anywhere
I mean,
close.
Tahoe's 9,000 feet, right? So, but anyway,
There was. I do remember seeing a lot of those signs, and I would have thought that this little village would have been on Google Maps, but I'm just not seeing it.
well, there's a crap ton of little towns. There's Sonoma. There's Columbia. Up back that way, there's Twain Hart, and this is a part that the gold rush was around, and Mark Twain ran around all these hills and stuff like that. So a lot of stuff's named after him.
Yeah. Well, I tell you that I did have the best time. I thoroughly enjoyed. I enjoyed when I was out there, and I can't wait to come back. Be honest with you.
I'm betting everybody welcomed you too, right?
Yeah,
I mean, tell them about it, Jeffrey. I mean, every person we've ever talked to that came out here.
I was going to mention it would only be fitting that he would travel, the beach line, PCH Highway 1, because that's how his attitude is. He kind of seems like he's a laid back surfer guy from Mississippi.
Yeah.
But that's how a lot of the guys in California are, just laid back. I guess depends how far from the coast you get.
I tell you, man, I was riding Highway 1. I got hungry, and I stopped at a little roadside place. I say a roadside place. It was a campground maybe, but they served hamburgers and stuff there. So I stopped there, and I ate my lunch in the middle of a little river or stream. They had chairs so you could sit absolutely out in the middle of this thing.
Wow.
And I did. I propped my feet up and sat and ate my burger sitting in the middle of the water. It was neat. Yeah, it's somewhere around Big Sur,
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's further south.
Yeah. Everybody, people that don't know and they come out here for the first time, I mean, Pop-Tart, I don't know if you know Pop-Tart but I mean, he'll tell you, you guys come out here and we treat you like family. We absolutely do. I've never had anything other than that from anybody that's ever came out here. For people that haven't been out here in California, come to one of our shows. You will see, when we're competing, the guys are trying to win 100%.
Yeah.
But when you're not in the lanes trying to win, it's a different world. I mean, Wayne even says it's totally different out here. Everybody's hanging out, having a good time, and it's like a big party. So,
I loved every aspect of being out there. It was a good time. I didn't have any. There were some things that's different out there than it's here, and it's not that it's a bad thing. You just don't know. Like I got people got angry at me because I didn't know I had to pay for a bag at the gas.
Oh yeah, 10 cents. Yep.
10
Well,
cents.
and he asked me, did I want a bag? I didn't want a bag. But then when I went to pick everything, I said, you know what? I'd like to have the bag. I'd already paid. And he got mad at me. I was like, really? You're mad at me? Because I said, that's fine. I'll just carry it. But I didn't even know at that point that it was the dime or the quarter or whatever it was. So little things like that was a challenge. And because I speak so Southern, I did find myself nodding rather than speaking when I could, But it was all good times. I did. I had such a blast. I can't wait to do it again.
So you went to the Audio Concepts show.
Yeah.
With Ray Aragon. Right.
Yep.
He's kind of the big host in the Central Valley for Base Wars.
Yeah. He's awesome. He's the first person I met out there, I think.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. And then obviously when you come out here and you meet Moses, and Moses is him and Rosa are just a party in a box.
Yeah, I had met them at one of the Las Vegas shows a year or two before.
Showdown.
Mm-hmm. I came out there, did the show. The the year before Richard came on, I think. Maybe 2 years, I'm not sure. And then and then Richard and I got together, and that's how I gave him a tent, all that stuff. I brought all that stuff to run the show and left it with him. And that's how, but we had worked that out, but that's so. But anyway, I met most of those guys at the showdown in Las Vegas. So I knew them before I got out there, and then I'd seen Moses at Slamology, which we'd not been at Slamology very long either. Just a few years.
Is that still going, or they canceled it this year, right?
They canceled it this year, and I think they've got it worked out for next year.
Okay. Yeah, that's where I showed up in slacks and slides, and Jeffrey was trying to make fun of me out there.
Right. Yeah, that's a beast. That's a. I think you guys probably have a way to network your meters together. I don't know that, but
yep.
We had to use different meters. So what we do is we ran 2 lanes.
Mm-hmm.
Next year we're going to run 4, but we ran 2, and I had a central computer. So we really had 3 term labs, and so we would take the score sheet. I had some very minimal score sheets where it was easy for everybody to read and write and all that stuff. And so they would run the score on one of the outside lanes and write the score down and pass it to a central person, and that person would input, and that is the computer we use for our results.
Okay.
So it was, labor intensive, I guess, if you want to call it that, since they don't network together.
Yeah.
Well, I think you could save them as an archive, and then you could just email that archive.
Yeah, but it's not live results.
Right.
You have to wait till it's complete to send those.
Yeah, and we had one TV up front, a big one, rolling the results. So, but once again, when you're typing in, the results don't. So, I need to think of a different way to do that.
So I'm going to ask you real quick too, because we're already over our hour. So we've already hit our hour. That was hella quick.
I had a couple of questions to ask Bill here.
Well, let me ask him one before, and then you can ask a few.
Okay.
Anyway, I had a question for you. Just what got you into bass? What started your whole obsession with being into bass and stuff? Is it
as a youngster? No, as a youngster,
way back.
Yeah, I would say it was probably 85. I was very young.
Mm-hmm.
I felt those gold letter kickers, I felt those in cars that had 815s and stuff like that in it, and that was it. That's all it took. And then back then, people took a lot of pride in their installs, and so all these cool cars, all these cool installs, and I was hooked.
Yeah.
And so I've been into that ever since.
Okay. All right. What did you have to ask him, Jeffrey?
I had a few questions, but I'll kind of maybe narrow it down to like 1 or 2. So the class names you have, for those just barely, finding out about Bass Wars, I thought it was interesting was the names that you get to these classes.
Yeah. So the demo classes, that's our music classes, right? So those are named after like storms, because you get a lot of wind in storms, and like hurricane has got probably the most wind, so it's the lowest frequency, probably make the most wind, and and so that's kind of how that is. The other classes, say they've all changed so much since we first started.
But I remember there's like Godfather. And there's
okay. So that comes from the mafia. In a trunk class, you're gonna put these dead people and stuff in your trunk of your car. So how big is your trunk, and how many people can you fit in your trunk, kind of thing. And so that was, I didn't tell anybody that, but that's kind of where that kind of came from.
My first car was a 6-body car. Just saying.
Oh wow! Yeah,
6-body.
Yeah, it was a Pontiac Catalina '76. I built a speaker box that was 4 foot by 4 foot square, 2 foot tall, So
Wow.
all one big box, right? 2 foot by
Yeah.
4 foot by 4 foot, and I was able to slide it in the trunk without taking off the trunk lid.
Dang.
That's how
That's
big that
huge.
trunk was.
Wow.
So I had a 6 body trunk, is what we used to say.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Right.
Any other interesting classes on there?
Well, they all have interesting names. Our least, we only have a few classes that we clamp. Those are leashed classes. So, because you got you on the leash,
Leash.
you can't go more than, however many watts, And the unleashed classes do what you like kind of deal,
Okay.
you know.
Leash. Okay.
Uh, yeah, the rest of them, they're all different.
Is there like assassin in there?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So now
Assassin
we
class.
have, these are our no wall classes, right?
Okay.
And so there's bandit, assassin, ninja. Warlord's the only one that really doesn't fit there, but it kind of does if you think about it, But yeah, we just come up with these names, and I didn't come up with any of these names. Let me be clear about that. The ones I come up with are the legendary, the beast, chaos. Those I came up with those, but like I think Jimmy Ham came up with most of these demo classes. I think Jordan Acosta might have came up with like the trunk classes. I really don't remember who, because we have a little managers group, little base sports managers group, and if there comes to anything creative, I'll put it out there for feedback and let the judges help me pick and choose whatever. And if we get some feedback, we use it. If they don't, I'll come up with something. If I come up with something, it's probably pretty bad. Right? I'm not the most creative person in the world.
Okay.
But,
My next question, it's probably going to be the last, but how many pages is your rule book?
So
Great question.
technically, I guess we could probably say a few pages. Because we really don't really have rules. We're very laid back. Most of our rule book is go to the tent, see the judge. This is how now it's getting bigger and bigger as we get bigger, but we don't have a lot of rules. But I think really the thing is like 12 pages, and that includes a few pages of this is in there, the score sheet, things like that.
And ads.
But you could put all our rules on 2 pages easy.
The reason why I asked is because Doug, he likes to tell the story of how DB Drag, when they first came out with the rule book, how many pages it was compared to
6
now.
pages.
So
yeah.
Now it's 26.
Yeah. Well,
what? I think it's in the 40s.
No, that's with the ads and everything else.
Oh, right, with the ads and pictures,
Yeah. But it's 26 pages of just
wow. Yeah, ours
rules.
is not that. But I purposely make sure that we don't come up with a lot of rules, just because if you have the rule, now you have to enforce the rule.
Yes.
So, here's an example. I remember seeing somebody saying, well, the judge didn't put my meter in the right place. So if base wars, you just pull up to the tent and I hand you the meter. And I say, anywhere in front of the front seat location. If you want to take your seat out, fine. But you got to put the meter in front of where the front seat would be. So that eliminates a lot of rules right there. So the whole org is kind of like that.
Okay. Yeah. So, Dave Bradshaw says, laughing his butt off. Rule number 1, go see the judge.
Right, yeah. It's just that simple, man. We really don't have many. Our main rule and only rule is you got to put the sensor in front of the front seats. And the only reason we have that rule is we don't want you playing, B-pillar port wars when everybody else is, So had to eliminate that. But other than that, we don't have a lot. We do have a 53 hertz cap on most of our stuff. You can't play, you can't burp higher than 53 hertz, unless you're in one of these pro classes, And that is the way I separated the pro guys from the novice guys, or the weekenders, if you will, because a pro guy gonna peak at 60, 70 hertz if they're trying to make the meter, right move.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you're not doing that, you're not going to win against these guys. So that's just the way we separate pro and consumer or novice, however you want to put it.
What are
So
your awards for World Finals?
So I usually hand make them.
Okay.
I have one close over there. I could get up and get it if you want me to. But this year, I regrettably got these. Matter of fact, I ordered them
the rings.
today.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like the ring thing because everybody does the ring thing, so I didn't want to do them. But I gave in to peer pressure. I guess everybody's wanting rings, and I financially they're far better than me hand making them, right? Because that's a lot of awards to hand make, you know.
Yep.
So so I bought a lot of these to last me 3 or 4 years, so I can make it affordable, right?
Okay.
Oh, wow, interesting.
Yeah. So when they come in, which should be about a month from now, I'll have enough to last me about 4 years.
Okay.
So they better like them.
Cool.
But yeah, usually I do different things. Usually I do a lot of artwork and I try and customize each one. Be honest with you, in the last couple of years, I would not call them successful. Some people were okay with them; they really like them because they just didn't cost a lot. You know, they did cost a lot, but they don't see the value in that, and so
Your time has value, right?
Right,
So.
but last year I had ordered some metal. Was it last year or the year? I think it was last year. I'd ordered some metal. I sublimate stuff. I used to make all our tag plate awards, right?
Uh-huh.
And so I was gonna get some Chromolux panels and make a really nice, put their picture and their score and all that stuff on it, you know, and on metal.
Right.
Man, I ordered the metal. It was a few $1,000s. The place,
Really?
they said maybe next week, maybe next week, maybe next. And I'm just sitting here like, okay, you know, I done did all the artwork for these shapes, right? And then the place went out of business.
It was a manufactured shape.
Yeah, it was a rectangle, like a plaque, if you will. And then the place went out of business.
Oh, hey.
So I done spent the money.
Hey,
I got nothing.
If you ever need something like that again, call me. I got
Yeah,
you,
okay.
bro.
Right.
I got you.
Yeah, well.
I'm sure you haven't seen it, but Jeffrey, you've seen that, right? My King of the Pound, Dog Pound one I'd made.
Oh, yeah.
With the gold chain, and then it was shaped like a crown. It had the DB Drag Top Dog logo on it and stuff. So yeah, so I've done a lot of because I've been sublimating since 2004. So,
oh yeah.
You know, so
Well,
I got
was
things
before sublimation was even a thing. That's a long time.
yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, I got things to shape metal. I got access to a laser cutter for metal.
Wow.
And then I have a pretty open source for sublimatable metal. So
Yeah.
Just saying. So if that becomes an issue, more than welcome to call me, text me, or whatever, and I'll help you. I'll get it out to you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Well, it did turn out to be a pain, so I just punted because I had to do something. People were tired of waiting, and I bought this signboard, if you will. You know, just like I don't know, I don't really know signs, but they called it signboard. And so I redid the artwork, and we printed out decals and laminated so it wouldn't fade, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And put that on there. They didn't really like them. A lot of people didn't really like them. So.
Gotcha.
You know, you win some, you lose some. But had that been a success, I would not have done these. I would have kept with something else.
Yeah.
But since I really did, I got a lot of complaints on the awards last year and the year before. I'm gonna do what they want this time for the next few. You know. Yeah. Now I am gonna hand make our seconds and thirds. You know.
Okay.
So. You know.
I mean, I could literally make pieces of metal in the shape of your Base Wars logo.
That's cool.
It wouldn't be hard to do it all. So as long as you have that in a vector format, I can change it to a DWG file. And then once it's a DWG, I can throw it on the laser cutter, and I can cut sublimatable pieces of metal to match your logo.
That is cool.
And they aren't very expensive.
Yeah. Well, we'll
So,
definitely hook up on that.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have
definitely.
I have a lot of access. Like I said, I've been doing this a long time, so I have a lot of access to things that people don't think about,
Yeah.
right?
I was trying to see if I had anything close, but I was going to show you one of our tag plates that what I give away for awards now, but none of them are.
The license plates.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen those before out here. So.
But they're plastic. They're not metal. I was
Oh,
doing them
okay.
in, yeah, I was doing them in metal, but then COVID happened
Hmm.
and the plates went to from a few dollars a piece to $8, $9 a piece blank.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
you know, you
Yeah.
got to make a little money. You got to make a
Yes.
little money to stay in business. I spend my little setup here, this live stream that I have for ours. I
Hmm.
spend $100 a month on that.
mhm.
The software for the finals is also $100 a month.
Yeah.
So, just little things is $250 a month, just stuff
Right.
you don't even think about. Now, your Adobe Illustrator I use for all the graphics that we do it. Well, there's another $30 a month or
Is
whatever.
that what that
It
costs?
adds up. It adds up.
Yeah. I This is for entertainment purposes only. I may not pay for Adobe Illustrator and have not paid for it since 2000 ish.
Right?
Just saying.
Yeah. I know there are ways. I don't know them, so I just have to
It's
pay.
it's fairly simple. So
Is it?
yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, because I
Right.
use Adobe Illustrator for all my graphic designs.
Yeah.
So
I used to use Corel, but I switched to Adobe because everybody else was using it, and I got
no.
tired of trying to convert files.
Yeah, so one of my shops uses Corel, so I gotta take my Adobe files, send it to them, and we gotta convert it to Corel to
Yeah,
run it through
yeah,
some of the machines sometimes. But I
yeah.
prefer to do it that way because as an Adobe, I can turn it into a PDF. I can email it to you. You can proof it, and if you want, you can send that off to somebody else that has a vector program, and they can open it up as a vector.
Oh,
Where
okay.
Corel
Yeah.
doesn't allow that.
Hey,
So
I didn't realize that.
yeah,
It's been a few years. I made the swap about 3 years ago.
yeah. Okay.
You
Yeah.
know.
Like I said, I've been doing that since like 2003, 2004, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So.
Oh no. I did a little bit of artwork before I did Base Wars, but after Base Wars, when he's like, you can pay somebody to do this, or you can learn it yourself.
Yeah.
So I was like, yep,
Yeah.
YouTube is my friend.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, Jeffrey, we've already been here almost an hour and a half now.
Oh, okay.
So why don't you hit him with our final question, sir?
Okay, the final question. So Bill, basically this is a question that we ask all of our guests, and you've seen the show a couple of times. But we want to know, what is your definition of a basehead?
My definition of a base head is someone that in their car has mucho bass. That's it. If you're in a building, I don't
Mhm.
think you're a bass head. You gotta have the bases moving your hair and your head in your car.
Yeah,
That's my definition.
I like it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, anybody you'd like to shout out or promote or any of that stuff, Bill?
No, just my guys. I guess out there where you guys are, go see Richard.
Yeah.
Right?
All right, Jeffrey, what's your final thoughts?
Um, I I didn't really know too much about Base Wars, to be honest,
Yep.
aside from what Richard was doing. And, when you think about like organizations, I tend to think, guys in suits, on their computers creating these, the way, like the rule books, how things should be. But then we have here Bill, who's totally laid back, and
Right?
it reflects in Base Wars in the organization, and
It does.
like the class names and stuff that we went over. So
Yeah.
I think that's probably a good winning combination to its popularity is the relaxed atmosphere. We touched about it a little bit about like world finals and stuff like that, which kind of surprised me what Bill was saying here. But I think that's probably what people kind of want, not so much as the pressure, the added
Yeah.
pressure, but just to have fun in this relaxed atmosphere that it's from a legitimate organization, and I see that's what Bill is doing here, and
I do
that's why
exactly.
that's why it's so popular.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think you're exactly right.
Yep. Definitely low tech, right? I mean, you are using some of the higher tech stuff, but you're manually inputting scores into one screen from multiple others, right? So,
Yeah,
so it is.
we have to work hard.
Yeah, and you can see that in the organization, right? So
Yeah.
you can see that it's a passion. It's
Hmm.
and truly about what we talk about on this podcast a lot is people's passion. And when you have passion and you truly love something, it shows every time. And I think it really comes through in you talking
Hmm.
about base wars and whatnot. It definitely shows through.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
I bet
Man,
it does
it's
in
been a
person too.
blast.
Yeah, I bet
Been
it
a
does in
blast to
person.
watch it grow.
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
It's crazy to look at it now because I mean, it just like I said, it wasn't a plan. It
Yeah. So
wasn't.
sometimes the plans plan you, you know,
Yeah.
and they take life of their own, and it is what
It
it
certainly
is.
has. It
Yeah.
certainly has.
Yeah. And I tell people all the time that right now, as far as organizations out there, IASCA, really the only thing they got that I feel competes with DB Drag is base boxing. That's
Yeah.
the only thing that would potentially pull competitors away from DB Drag to IASCA. Um, and Base Wars is, I'm not saying, so, I mean, obviously DB Drag is the pinnacle of stereo competition, right? But I think Base Wars has the ability to pull some of the competitors towards there. But I do know, speaking with you and any other organization, we're not really trying to take each other's competitors. We are trying to share the
No.
competitors, right?
Right.
And we just want to give them an option to play a different way. And I
Yeah.
think Base Wars has an attractive way, different way to play,
Yeah.
more than
I
the other
have
orgs.
I have purposely not looked at other orgs so that I didn't be tempted to copy. Like
It'd be
I
easy.
really the thing that makes the most sense to me as far as a meter location is where Steve Stern put it from Mecca, which
Headrest.
is
Oh,
at the
headrest.
headrest.
Yeah.
Uh,
But I don't do that because they do it.
okay.
Mm.
But to me, I like it, right?
Hmm.
I don't know anything about DB Drag. I don't know anything because we've never had it here, right?
Okay.
I've never been in the presence of DB Drag
Hmm.
ever,
Do
you
you
know?
want to run an event? You could be a 1X judge.
I started to call Wayne and say, "Hey, Wayne, I want to do this." I did. I thought about that about 2 days ago. You know, I would.
Yeah.
Um, of course, I stay pretty busy.
I bet you do.
Mm.
With
Yeah.
all that extra judging you got out there now, and just getting them their awards alone is a full-time job probably.
Well, so now I don't make them myself. I have to order them. I can't. I would have been sublimating all day, every day.
Yeah.
I go through about 10,000 awards a year.
Oh, there you go.
Wow.
And so I had to streamline it, and that's one reason I provide them, is I can help get a sponsor with a big bulk of awards because all of my judges have the same one. So, like kickers they help this time, and so all my judges are going to give kicker logoed awards across the country, across the world.
Right.
Now, if you think, if you count South Africa, but
Right.
I couldn't sublimate that many.
Yeah.
I
No,
couldn't make that many.
I mean, sublimation gets pretty cheap too if you're going to do the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, yeah.
You can go to
So-
India or China and get that stuff done for pennies on what it costs you to do it here.
Do you? I wanna source for some hats.
All
I
right.
don't have a good source
Well,
for
we'll,
some hats.
we'll talk about it when we get off the podcast. 'Cause I
Yeah,
don't necessarily share my sources, so,
Right.
at least out in public, right?
yeah.
So, I mean, you do have to have a business license to get where I get it from and all kinds of stuff. But
Yeah, that's not a problem.
yeah, I didn't think so. Anyway, all right, guys, I want to thank you for tuning in. Appreciated the chat with Mr.
Yeah.
Bill Temple. Base Wars, if you guys haven't tried it, get an opportunity, go ahead and try it out. As Jeffrey and I have said more times than I can count, we're not trying to take every single one. We're not trying to take every single competitor or whatnot, and we encourage you guys to try the other organizations. You'll find one that you fit in, the one that you like. Dave says he likes how your build can be on the awards. So when I first started, I actually have some awards from 2004 that I used to keep in my trailer to show people that I would I could put your picture, your score, and everything on every award because I did sublimation back then, and it still looks almost as good today as it did then. Now the machines are so much better at creating images than they were then. Image clarity is so much better now.
But yes, 2004 is a long. I mean, I didn't even know it existed back then.
Yeah. So back then I had to buy an Epson printer, and I had to put a needle inside the jets and clean it and open up the jets to make sublimation ink come through it.
Oh,
that's how long ago it was.
Right. Yeah.
So they didn't have sublimation machines. They had you had to take an Epson because it had the biggest jets, and you had to open them up a little bit just so you can sublimate. So, but now you just buy a sublimation machine,
right?
And they're super good.
Yeah,
so,
and I don't really even use them much anymore. Now that I do the tags, elsewhere, I don't. I need to print something so it don't get clogged up.
So and then now they have the gel. So if you have the gel sublimation, it doesn't clog anymore.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The
well,
old
that one's that printer is a few years old. I wore out a few of them.
Which one you have?
I have the Epson. It takes a 24-inch roll paper. The Epson.
Okay.
I forget the SC 5000 or something like that.
Yeah. So I moved away from the Epsons and I went with the SC, the Sawgrass. Oops, did I just?
I did just the opposite.
Oh, because the Sawgrass was so much better. Shoot, I lost my laptop. All right, guys. Well, shoot, I can't. I gotta turn this on. Hold on. I gotta put my computer back on. Dang it.
Where'd he go?
Right.
There I am. All right. I kicked my computer cord out. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys. Hopefully we'll be on here next week again with another guest. If you guys have somebody you want to suggest, just let us know. We'll try and get them part on here. But once again, thanks to Bill Temple and my co-host, Mr. Jeffrey Fernandez. Sorry about last week. It's just the holiday weekend just screwed everything up for me.
Yeah.
And
well, I appreciate you guys asking me on also.
No. We appreciate having you. All right, guys. We will see you next week at 5:30 California time, the only time that matters on This Week in Car Audio. Peace. We out. Hold on, Bill.